Ogechi's stomach growled again. Not the polite kind, the angry "you have not fed me since yesterday" kind. She stood in her tiny one-room apartment, barefoot on cold tiles, holding an empty pot like a trophy of poverty. "Don't worry," she muttered to the pot. "If shame could cook, you'd be full by now." The room was quiet, too quiet, the kind of quiet that reminded you that you were alone, broke, and very hungry. The curtains were thin, the fan old, and the mattress looked like it had survived 3 recessions and 1 heartbreak. Ogechi was a graduate, not almost, a full graduate with certificate and dreams. Yet here she was, arguing with cookware. She walked into her so-called kitchen and opened the cupboard. Nothing. She opened it again, just in case food had appeared out of respect. Still nothing. Rice finished, beans finished, Indomie finished, she counted on her fingers. Then she sighed deeply. Even salt has relocated. Just as she bent down to check the pot one last time, because miracles sometimes hide at the bottom, her phone rang. Landlord. Her heart jumped to her throat. "Gotta beg," she whispered before answering. "Ogechi," the voice thundered. "You think I'm running charity? This is my final warning. If I don't see my rent this week, carry your load and leave my house." She tried to speak. The line went dead. She stared at her phone, then at the pot, then back at the phone. Slowly, like a robot with low battery, she walked back to her bed and sat down, still holding the empty pot. Minutes passed. Her mind traveled everywhere. Her parents, job applications, rejection emails, unpaid bills, and her landlord's loud voice echoing like national anthem. She didn't even realize tears were rolling until one dropped inside the pot. "See," she sniffed, "even the pot is crying with me." Taking a shaky breath, she picked up her phone. "I will beg him again," she said, nodding to herself. "Begging has no expiration date." She typed carefully, pouring her soul into the message. "Good evening, sir. Please, I'm begging you. I'm a graduate still searching for a job. Please give me small time. I will surely pay. Please don't throw me out. God will bless you." She reread it twice, then pressed send. A second later, she glanced at the contact name. Her eyes widened. Her blood froze. Her soul left her body briefly and came back. This is not my landlord." She jumped up from the bed. "No, no, no." She checked again. "Unknown number." She screamed. "I have begged a stranger." She fell back on the bed dramatically. What kind of suffering is this? Even my shame is misbehaving. In a luxurious Nigerian interior that looked like it belonged in a magazine, Damilare Adeyemi stepped out of the bathroom, towel around his waist, water dripping from his hair. The room smelled like wealth and expensive cologne. Billionaire, CEO, tycoon, and currently tired of life. A new message. Unknown number. He frowned and read. Then he paused. Then he read it again. "Please don't throw me out." He chuckled softly. "Landlord," he muttered. "Since when did I own tenants?" He leaned against the wall, suddenly serious. The message wasn't fake. It wasn't desperate for fun. It was real, and for the first time in weeks, his heart felt something other than betrayal and stress. "Wrong number," he said quietly, "but maybe right timing." He walked toward his bed, sat down, and stared at the phone. A trusted PA had betrayed him. A Dubai business dinner was approaching, and every billionaire would arrive with a woman by his side. He exhaled, then typed. Ogechi was busy insulting herself. "See you. University graduate that can't even save number. Tomorrow you will mistakenly send 'I love you' to Nipa." Her phone beeped. She ignored it. It beeped again. She hissed. "If it's the landlord again, I will cry live on the phone." She looked. Her eyes nearly popped out. She read. Once, twice, thrice. Her mouth opened slowly. $7 million. She stood up sharply. "The rainbow has 7 colors," she whispered with trembling lips. "That means my life is about to be colorful." She sat down again, breathing fast. "This must be scam." She paused. "But if it's scam, let me be scammed small." "Ogechi," She whispered to herself that the money will change her life. I will get a new beautiful house and good food to eat. My landlord won't disturb me again if I accepted the contract. Ogechi replied the message again accepting the contract, and Damilare send her the location of his office. They will meet so that she will sign the contract agreement and to start the job. Ogechi did not sleep that night. How could she? Every time she closed her eyes, $7 million stood up, waved at her, and shouted, "Don't dull." She sat on her bed, phone in hand, rereading the message for the 20th time. "This must be scam," she whispered. She reread it again. But if it's scam, it's very polite scam. She stood up, paced the room, then sat again. God, if this is temptation, let it tempt me gently. By morning, she had made up her mind. The dressing struggle. Ogechi opened her wardrobe. Correction, her wardrobe opened itself in shame. 2 dresses, one faded, one more faded. She held the first one up. No. The second one, also no. She sighed. Okay, we'll manage. She wore a simple knee-length dress, neat but old, paired with her only decent flats. She tied her hair back carefully and stared at herself in the cracked mirror. Ogechi, she said seriously, today you are going to a billionaire's office. Behave like somebody that has sense. Her stomach growled again. She hissed. Later. The office that shook her soul. When she arrived at the address, she almost turned back. The building was too tall, too shiny, too rich. She tilted her head back until her neck hurt. Ah, is this office or heaven's waiting room? The security man looked at her suspiciously. Who are you here to see? She swallowed. Mr. Damilare Adeyemi. The guard raised an eyebrow, looked at her slippers, then at her face. Do you have appointment? She nodded quickly. Yes, sir. Contract. The word contract entered his ear and unlocked the gate. Ogechi whispered, Thank you, Jesus. Meeting the wrong number. Inside the office was air conditioning that felt like it could erase sins. Glass walls, Italian furniture, people walking with purpose. Ogechi stood awkwardly at the reception. Before she could speak, a deep voice came from behind. You must be the landlord message. She turned and froze. Tall, broad shoulders, expensive suit, face that looked like it had never begged anybody for anything. Her brain short-circuited. I'm Ogechi. Damilare smiled slightly. I know. Please, come in. She followed him into his office, like someone entering an exam hall she didn't prepare for. The contract talk. They sat. Ogechi sat straight, hands folded, knees together, breathing like she was counting oxygen. Damilare studied her calmly. So, he said, tell me, why did you think I was your landlord? She laughed nervously. Sir, hunger affects vision. He chuckled. Fair answer. He explained everything clearly. TA duties, public appearances, Dubai trip, fake fiancé clause. When he mentioned the money again, Ogechi blinked rapidly. Sir, she interrupted, please let me ask you something. Yes? Are you sure this is not prank? Because my village people are very active. Damilare laughed, actually laughed. I assure you, Miss Ogechi, this is very real. She exhaled dramatically. Okay, because my heart was doing press-ups. Signing away poverty. He slid the contract toward her. Ogechi read it carefully, slowly, like someone that had been betrayed by fine print before. She signed. The moment her pen left the paper, she whispered under her breath, Goodbye, suffering. Damilare heard her. What was that? Nothing, sir. I was greeting my past. Enter jealousy, stage left. As Ogechi stepped out of the office, a woman leaned toward her. Perfect makeup, perfect heels, perfect jealousy. Listen, the woman said sharply. Don't think because you're new you can seduce the CEO. Ogechi blinked, then smiled politely. Madam, she replied, I came here to work, not to fall in love. Love does not pay rent. The woman scoffed. Ogechi added softly, Also, I'm tired. Please allow me rest. A heart that misbehaved. From his office, Damilare watched her walk away. Something stirred. She's different, he murmured. And somewhere in Lagos, an empty pot sighed in relief, because destiny had officially clocked in. Ogechi woke up before her alarm, not because she was disciplined, but because fear shook her soul awake. She sat up on her bed, staring into space. "First day of work in a billionaire's office," she whispered. "God, please, I don't want to embarrass my entire generation." Her stomach growled. She hissed, "You again? Today is not the day. Behave." Morning panic mode. She rushed around her room like a confused chicken. She ironed her dress, burnt it slightly. Jesus. She changed shoes 3 times. Too flat. Too old. Okay, this one won't disgrace me. Standing before the mirror in a neat office dress, she practiced smiling. "Good morning, sir." Too dry. "Good morning, sir." Too desperate. "Good morning, Damel." She slapped her mouth. "Are you mad?" Entering the lion's den at the office, the receptionist smiled. "Good morning, Miss Ogechi." Ogechi froze. They knew her name? She smiled back nervously. "Good morning. Please don't shout." As she walked toward the CEO's office, her heels echoed loudly. Click, click, click. Every click sounded like, "Village girl, village girl." She inhaled deeply and knocked. "Come in," Damelaire's voice called. She entered. He looked up from his laptop. "Good morning, sir." He smiled. "Good morning, PA." PA. The word hit her chest. She nodded too fast. "Yes, sir. I am here. Fully here." The first task disaster. "Okay," Damelaire said calmly. "I need today's schedule printed, the boardroom prepared, and my 10 a.m. meeting confirmed." Ogechi nodded confidently. Inside her head, "What is boardroom?" Out loud, "No problem, sir." She stepped out, pulled out her phone, and typed quickly, "What is boardroom in office?" Google saved her destiny. Meet the office witches. As she walked toward the printer, the jealous colleague Vanessa appeared. "So, you're the new PA?" "Yes," Ogechi replied politely. Vanessa smirked. "Hope you know this job is not for everybody." Ogechi smiled sweetly. "Don't worry, I'm not everybody. I'm tired." Vanessa scoffed and walked away. Ogechi whispered, "Deliver us from evil." The printer betrayal. She pressed print. Nothing. She pressed again. The printer made a sound like it was coughing. "Please," Ogechi begged softly. "Not today. Paper jam." She stared at it. The printer stared back. They locked eyes. "This office equipment will not ruin my destiny," she declared, rolling up her sleeves. 5 minutes later, toner on her hand, sweat on her forehead, paper everywhere. A staff passed by. "Are you okay?" Ogechi smiled. "Yes, we're fighting." The CEO's observation. Back in his office, Damelaire watched through the glass wall. She was struggling, but she didn't give up. She laughed at herself. She asked questions. She learned fast. Something stirred again. "She's real," he murmured. The meeting save. Minutes before the meeting, a manager rushed in. "Sir, the projector isn't working." Before Damelaire could respond, Ogechi jumped in. "Give me 1 minute." She crawled under the table. Everyone stared. Her voice echoed from beneath. "Who plugged this thing like this? Are we playing Ludo?" She fixed it. The projector came on. The room clapped. Ogechi emerged, hair slightly messy. She smiled awkwardly. "You're welcome." Damelaire chuckled. Small moment, big impression. After the meeting, Damelaire called her in. "You did well today." Her eyes widened. "Really?" "Yes, you're learning fast." She exhaled. "Thank you, sir. I was praying under the table." He laughed. "You've earned it." As she walked out, Vanessa watched, annoyed. Vanessa muttered. "Well, see." And somewhere between toner stains and courage, Ogechi realized this job might just change her life. The salary alert entered Ogechi's life like thunder. Gbam. Her phone vibrated on the small table beside her bed. She ignored it at first, because her phone usually vibrated for things like network promotion or "Dear customer, borrow airtime." Then it vibrated again. She sighed. "If this is MTN again, I will scream." She picked it up, read, froze, read again, sat up, read a third time. Her soul left her body, went on a short walk, and returned. "Alert, credit, N." She screamed. "Jesus!" She jumped off the bed. "My account is breathing." She stared at the phone with suspicion. Is this typo? Did the bank mistakenly press extra zero? She refreshed. Still there. She laughed, cried, spun around the room, then stopped suddenly. The landlord. Her smile faded, then returned, wider. Today we meet as equals, the call that changed power dynamics. She dialed the landlord's number slowly, calmly, like a rich woman. He picked up immediately. Ogechi. Good morning, sir, she cut in sweetly. How is your family? There was silence. Why are you greeting me like this? He asked suspiciously. I just wanted to check on you before I send your money. Send what? Rent. The man coughed. Which rent? The one you shouted about last week. Another silence. Then, Ogechi, my daughter, you didn't tell me you were trying. She smiled politely. I sent you money already. His voice softened. God bless you. You see, I was just trying to encourage you. She nodded, even though he couldn't see her. Yes, sir. Encouragement received. She ended the call and collapsed on her bed, laughing. Empty pot. Do you hear that? We've paid rent. The pot said nothing, but it felt proud. A new walk into the office. That morning, Ogechi entered the office differently, her back straight, her steps confident. Vanessa noticed immediately. Vanessa muttered. Why is she walking like owner? Ogechi greeted everyone cheerfully. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Someone whispered. She's happy today, she replied. Happiness is good for health. The CEO notices. Inside his office, Damelaire looked up as Ogechi walked in with files. Good morning, sir. He paused. Something was different. You're smiling like someone that won lottery. She hesitated. Sir, salary entered. He chuckled. That explains it. She grinned. Thank you for saving my destiny. He raised an eyebrow. Destiny is dramatic. You have no idea, sir. Jealousy strikes back. At the printer, Vanessa cornered her again. You're too comfortable for someone that just resumed. Ogechi smiled calmly. Madam, I paid my rent this morning. Comfort follows rent. Vanessa scoffed. Don't forget your place. Ogechi leaned closer, still smiling. My place is my job. I'm standing in it. Vanessa walked away angry. The data disaster. Midday chaos erupted. A staff ran in shouting, Sir, important files are missing. Damelaire's expression hardened. Ogechi's heart raced, but her brain kicked in. Sir, give me access to the logs. Vanessa laughed under her breath. PA thinks she's IT. Minutes later, Ogechi noticed something. These access times, she pointed, they're internal. Silence fell. Damelaire's jaw tightened. Call the security team. Vanessa's face paled. The turning point. After everything settled, Damelaire stood by the window. You saved the company today. Ogechi swallowed. I just paid attention. He turned to her. Not everyone does. Their eyes met. Something shifted. Vanessa watched from afar, fists clenched. This girl, she muttered, will not last. But destiny had already signed its own contract. Ogechi found out she was going to Dubai the same way she found out most life-changing things lately. Unexpectedly and with small heart attack. Damelaire called her into his office that morning. Sit, he said. She sat. Relax, he added. She became more tense. He slid a file across the desk. Dubai Business Summit, 2 weeks from now. She nodded. Okay, sir. You'll be coming with me. She nodded again. All right, sir. He paused. As my fiancé. Her nod stopped mid-air. Sir? He cleared his throat. Fake fiancé. For public appearances. Silence. Then, Sir, Ogechi said slowly, is this where I say yes before or after my village people wake up? Damelaire laughed. You'll be fine. She exhaled. Okay, but if my ancestors ask questions, I'll send them to you. The training started immediately. Rule number 1. Public affection, controlled. Hold my hand, Damelaire instructed. Ogechi stared at his hand like it might bite her. Sir, this hand looks expensive. Just hold it. She did, lightly, like she was holding hot soup. No, he corrected, naturally. She adjusted interlocking fingers. Her heartbeat betrayed her. Why is my heart running? She whispered. What? He asked. Nothing, sir. Cardio. They practiced walking together. Slow down, Damilar said. I'm not running, she replied. You're speed walking. I'm from Lagos. This is survival pace. He laughed. Relax. Smile. She smiled too hard. Not like you're posing for passport. She sighed. This job is stressful. Then came shopping. The boutique doors opened like a movie scene. Ogechi stepped in and froze. Sir, is this where clothes live? Designer gowns, gold accents, mirrors that showed confidence she hadn't downloaded yet. The stylist smiled. What's your size? Ogechi panicked. Medium. Emotionally. They laughed. She tried on dress after dress. When she stepped out in a stunning gown, the room went quiet. Damilar swallowed. That one, he said quickly. She looked at the price tag and whispered, Sir, this dress can buy land. Relax, he replied. It's just fabric. Just fabric that costs my future children's school fees. Back at the office, Vanessa almost choked when she saw the shopping bags. Dubai, she scoffed. As PA? Ogechi smiled innocently, plus fiancé. Vanessa laughed sharply. Don't forget it's fake. Ogechi nodded. Fake job, real paycheck. Vanessa stormed off. A consultant was brought in to teach Ogechi etiquette. Sit straight. She sat too straight. Relax. She slouched. No, balanced. She sighed. Sir, I need tutorial video. They practiced introductions. Smile softly, the consultant said. Ogechi smiled awkwardly. Less teeth. She reduced teeth. Less fear. She closed her eyes. Open them. Everyone laughed. One evening after practice, Damilar watched her quietly. You're doing well, he said. She shrugged. I'm just trying not to disgrace you internationally. He smiled. You won't. Their eyes met. The air changed. She cleared her throat quickly. Sir, should I practice saying I love you? He paused. Not yet. Her heart misbehaved again. As the days passed, Ogechi changed. New clothes, new confidence, same humor. But something else was growing. Something that wasn't in the contract. And far away, destiny rubbed its hands together and smiled. Ogechi had never been inside an airport that didn't smell like stress and groundnuts. This one smelled like money. As soon as they entered the VIP terminal, she slowed her steps, her eyes darting left and right, like she was afraid someone would shout, Madam, go back, this place is not for your level. Damilar noticed and leaned closer. Relax, you're not stealing anything. Ogechi whispered back, Sir, people like us don't relax in places like this. Even the chairs look like they can report me to security. Damilar chuckled. Just breathe. Remember, fiancé. She inhaled sharply, then exhaled. Okay, I am breathing billionaire oxygen. Inside the plane, the flight attendant smiled warmly. Welcome aboard, sir. Welcome, ma'am. Ogechi froze. Ma'am? Is she talking to me? She pointed to herself. Me? The attendant nodded politely. Ogechi leaned to Damilar. Sir, why is she greeting me like I own the plane? Damilar replied calmly. Because in this flight you do. She gasped. Jesus, my ancestors have upgraded. When they reached their seats, Ogechi stared at the wide leather chair like it might bite. She sat cautiously, then bounced a little. This chair is softer than my mattress. Should I kneel before sitting? Damilar burst out laughing. Ogechi, please, sit normally. She pressed a button accidentally, and the chair reclined fully. Ah, she screamed. Sir, sir, the chair is running away from me. Passengers turned. Damilar tried not to laugh as he helped her upright. Don't worry, he whispered. It's obedient, just like you. She hissed. This chair wants to disgrace me internationally. The attendant handed Ogechi the menu. She flipped it once, twice, thrice. She leaned closer to Damilar. Sir, are these prices or phone numbers? They're dishes. She squinted. What is truffle risotto, and why does it sound like a bank manager? Damilar smiled. Order anything. Ogechi swallowed. Anything? Yes, she closed the menu gently. Please bring me what rich people eat when they are not angry. When the plane landed in Dubai, Ogechi pressed her face against the window. Is this heaven, or did Nigeria update overnight? Tall buildings glittered like they were competing for attention. At immigration, Ogechi whispered, If they ask me why I'm here, should I say love or money? Damilar replied without missing a beat, Say business. She nodded. Business, love. The hotel doors opened automatically. Ogechi jumped. Did you see that? The building greeted us first. Inside, Marble floors gleamed. Chandeliers sparkled like stars. Ogechi whispered, "Sir, even my village king has never entered a place like this." At the reception desk, the staff bowed slightly. "Welcome, Mr. Adebayo and fiancé." Ogechi's knees almost gave way. "Fiancé." They entered the elevator. Ogechi pressed the wrong button and the doors closed immediately. She screamed softly, "Sir, I think I locked us in." Damilar laughed. "Relax, it's an elevator, not a coffin." When they reached the suite floor, a staff member handed Ogechi her keycard. She stared at it like a sacred object. "This small thing opens a room bigger than my whole apartment?" "Yes." She nodded solemnly. "I will not lose it, even if I lose myself." Inside her room, Ogechi dropped her bags and slowly sat on the bed. Then she lay down. Then she bounced. Then she screamed into a pillow. "This bed is not for sleeping," she whispered. "It is for forgiving enemies." She walked into the bathroom, saw the bathtub, and gasped. "Is this for swimming or bathing?" She looked at herself in the mirror, touching her face. So this is how rich people live. Her phone buzzed. "Damilare, rest well. Tomorrow will be busy." She typed, deleted, typed again. "Ogechi." "Thank you, sir. I will try not to disgrace you internationally," he replied almost instantly. "Damilare, you're doing fine." She smiled at the screen, hugging the pillow. Outside, Dubai glittered. Inside, Ogechi's heart fluttered. She didn't know it yet, but the flight had already landed her into more than luxury. She had landed into destiny. If nerves were money, Ogechi would have paid off Nigeria's debt that evening. She stood in her hotel room, staring at herself in the mirror, wearing a dress that looked like it had personally offended gravity. "God," she whispered, adjusting the straps. "If this dress disgraces me, remember I am your child." A knock sounded. "Ogechi!" Damilare's voice came through the door, calm as always. "We're leaving in 10 minutes. She panicked. "Sir, 10 minutes is not enough for this kind of beauty pressure." When Ogechi finally stepped out of her room and into the hallway, Damilare turned and forgot how to breathe. The dress hugged her like it had been designed after several committee meetings. Her skin glowed. Her hair fell softly over her shoulders. Damilare blinked. Once. Twice. "Ogechi." "Yes, sir?" she asked nervously. He swallowed. "You look dangerous." She frowned. "Dangerous how?" "Like you might cause international incidents." She laughed, relieved. "Ah, thank you. That means it's working." Inside the car, silence stretched. Ogechi broke it. "Sir, when we reach there, should I smile small or smile rich?" "Smile natural." She nodded seriously. "Okay, natural billionaire fiancé smile." She practiced in the window reflection. Too wide, too stiff, too suspicious. Damilare watched her, amused. "Relax. Just be yourself." She sighed. "Sir, myself has never entered a place like this." The business dinner venue glittered. Crystal chandeliers, men in suits worth villages, women in dresses that whispered generational wealth. As they stepped in, heads turned. Whispers followed. "That's Damilare Adebayo. Is that his fiancée? Where did he find her?" Ogechi leaned closer. "Sir, people are looking at me like I'm the new update." He smiled. "Stand tall." She lifted her chin. "My village people will be proud." CEO after CEO approached. "This must be the lucky woman," one man said. Ogechi smiled politely. "Nice to meet you, sir." Another woman eyed her up and down. "She's simple." Ogechi smiled sweetly. "Yes, simple, not easy." Damilare nearly laughed out loud. Wine flowed. Laughter grew louder. Ogechi took a sip, then another. She leaned closer to Damilare. "Sir, this drink is not smiling with me," he whispered. "Slow down." She nodded. "I am slow. I am just walking fast." Later, during dinner, Ogechi laughed too hard at one of his jokes and accidentally placed her hand on his thigh. They both froze. She whispered urgently, "Sir, emergency, I have lost my hand." He leaned in, voice low. "Don't move." Her heart raced. "If I die here, tell my landlord I tried." Music softened. A slow tune filled the hall. A host announced, "Couples may take the floor." Damilare stood. "Shall we?" Ogechi's eyes widened. Now, in front of ancestors and billionaires? He extended his hand. She took it. On the dance floor they swayed gently. Too close. Too real. She whispered, "Sir, this acting is becoming suspicious." He replied softly, "I know." For a moment, the world disappeared. No pretending. Just stolen glances and racing hearts. Back in the car, Ogechi rested her head against the seat. "Sir," she murmured, sleepy, "did I embarrass you?" He looked at her, smiling softly. "You were perfect." She smiled lazily. "Good, because I don't remember everything." He chuckled. "That's worrying." As Dubai lights blurred past, Damilare realized something dangerous. This was no longer just business. And Ogechi, half asleep, whispered words that tightened his chest. "Sir, thank you for choosing me." He didn't answer. Because if he did, he might admit the truth, that destiny had stopped pretending too. If Dubai had a warning label, it would say, "Caution, wine plus feelings equals regret by morning." Ogechi didn't read that label. Back at the hotel, Ogechi staggered slightly as they stepped out of the elevator. She squinted at the long corridor. "Sir, since when did hotels become this long? Is it trekking?" Damilare held her elbow gently. "You're tipsy." She frowned. "No, I am just emotionally flexible." They stopped in front of a door. Ogechi nodded confidently. "Yes, this is my room." Damilare checked the keycard. "Ogechi, this is my room." She blinked. Once. Twice. "Are you sure?" "Yes," she smiled sweetly. "Okay, then I will just escort you inside." Inside the lights came on. Same luxury. Same soft bed. Same suspicious comfort. Ogechi looked around. Your room looks exactly like my room." Damilare sighed. "It's the same floor." She nodded seriously. "That means we are neighbors. Good community." She removed her heels dramatically and sighed in relief. These shoes were trying to kill me. She sat on the bed, then leaned back, then lay down fully. Damilare froze. "Ogechi, you should go to your room." She waved lazily. "I will go now." She didn't move. Silence fell. Then Ogechi spoke softly, staring at the ceiling. "Sir, can I ask you something?" "Go ahead. Why did you really choose me?" He hesitated. "Because you were honest." She chuckled. "No, try again." He smiled faintly. "Because you were different." She turned to face him. "Too close." "Different how?" He swallowed. "Because you didn't want anything from me." She laughed quietly. "That's a lie. I wanted food." They both laughed. The laughter faded. The air changed. Ogechi sat up slowly. "Sir," she said softly, "this acting is becoming dangerous." "I know," he replied. They stared at each other. Too long. Too close. Her hand brushed his arm accidentally. Or maybe not accidentally. "Sir," my hand slipped. "It happens," he said, not moving away. Her heart raced. "This is not professional." "No," he agreed quietly. And then they kissed. Brief, soft, terrifying. Ogechi pulled back immediately. "Jesus!" She jumped off the bed. "This was not rehearsed." Damilare ran a hand through his hair. "Ogechi, I." She paced. "Sir, this is against policy, against contract, against common sense." She stopped, looked at him. But it felt nice. They stared at each other again. This time the kiss didn't stop. The sun rose without permission. Ogechi groaned, rolling over. "This bed is too soft. My village bed would have woken me earlier." She opened her eyes. Not her room. She froze. Slowly she looked beside her. Damilare lay asleep, shirtless, peaceful, very real. Her scream shattered Dubai. "Ah!" Damilare jolted awake. "What? Fire? Board meeting?" Ogechi jumped off the bed, clutching the sheet. "I slept with my boss." He sat up, confused. "You shouted it loud. The hotel might hear." She spun. "Sir, don't be calm. This is scandal." They stared at each other. Memories rushed back. The wine. The kiss. They both sighed at the same time. "I'm sorry," Ogechi said quickly. "No, I'm sorry," Damilare replied. "This should not have happened. I should have stopped it. I should not drink rich people wine again." He almost laughed. "Agreed." She dressed quickly, avoiding eye contact. I will resign. He stood. No. She paused. No? We'll talk when we're sober, calm. She nodded, embarrassed. Sir, this changes everything. He looked at her gently. It does. Ogechi picked her shoes, her bag, and her remaining pride. Damilare sat back on the bed, exhaling deeply. Across the hallway, Ogechi leaned against her own door, heart pounding. This was supposed to be fake, she whispered. But destiny, it seemed, had ignored the contract. The plane touched down in Lagos, and the humid air slapped Ogechi awake before her alarm could. She rubbed her temples and whispered, back to the land where my stomach doesn't get confused by caviar, but by Indomie. Damilare, calm as ever, slid his sunglasses on. Welcome home, he said, voice smooth as silk. Brace yourself. Lagos is lively. Ogechi groaned. Sir, I survived Dubai fashion trauma, wine disasters, and almost fainted in your room. Now Lagos traffic? Is this part of the training program? Damilare smirked. Think of it as character building. The next morning, Ogechi entered Damilare's office, determined to act professional. She wore a crisp blouse and pencil skirt, looking sharp, but still carrying the faint scent of Dubai perfume. She paused in the doorway, noticing the staff whispering, peering, and pointing. Wow, she muttered under her breath. Lagos office politics, louder than Dubai's chandeliers. Damilare, seated at the corner of the office, saw her and raised an eyebrow. Good morning, Ogechi. Did you sleep well? She froze. Sir, good morning, and yes, sleep was educational. He chuckled lightly. I see. Educational? She held up a finger like she was about to explain quantum physics. Yes, and I promise I will only apply those lessons to office work. Mostly. The next challenge came sooner than she expected. Damilare's PA noticed suspicious activity in the office system. Someone was manipulating confidential files. Damilare frowned. We need to find out who's betraying us, but carefully, no jumping to conclusions. Ogechi straightened. Sir, this sounds like detective work. Can I wear a hat and hold a magnifying glass? He raised an eyebrow. You might scare them off before you catch them. She laughed. Fair point. Then I'll use my eyes and brain. Both expensive tools. Ogechi moved stealthily around the office, pretending to sort papers, but really watching screens, listening to whispers, and noting odd behavior. One staff member, sweating like he'd just run a marathon, avoided eye contact. Ogechi leaned over and whispered, Sir, I think this person just stole candy from a baby. Damilare appeared behind her. He's trying to access confidential data. Ogechi tilted her head. Exactly, and my intuition says he deserves a polite Nigerian lecture. Ogechi called the culprit into her small office. He sat, looking like a lost goat. Sir, Ogechi began seriously, this is serious. You don't steal from Damilare Adebayo's office and think it will fly. He stammered. Aye. Save it, she interrupted, pointing a finger dramatically. Your actions have consequences. But lucky for you, I am smart and merciful. Damilare walked in at that moment. Do you need assistance, Ogechi? She smiled cheekily. Sir, I think the truth has already scared him enough. I'm just supervising justice. The culprit confessed immediately. Ogechi raised her hands triumphantly. Damilare smiled, clearly impressed. You've just saved my company. She grinned. Sir, I guess I'm not just a pretty face with Dubai perfume. After the confrontation, Damilare and Ogechi walked to the balcony overlooking Lagos. Sir, she said, today I realize that trust is like Lagos traffic. Hard to navigate, but if you follow the rules, you survive. He laughed. And if you bend the rules? She smirked, leaning closer. Then you get drama, and maybe a promotion. Damilare chuckled. I think you already earned one. In courage, honesty, and trouble management, Ogechi laughed softly, feeling a warm glow inside. Between the chaos, the betrayal, and the comedy of the day, she realized something. She had finally earned his trust, and maybe, just maybe, he had started to trust her heart too. As the office settled, Ogechi checked her phone and whispered to herself, Dubai, wine, wrong hotel room, Lagos, stolen files, trust. Who knew life could be so dramatic? Damilare appeared beside her. And funny, she laughed, leaning lightly on his shoulder. Yes, very funny. But don't worry, I'm not done surprising you. He looked at her, heart quietly skipping. Somehow her humor, honesty, and audacity were changing everything. Ogechi sat at her small dining table in her apartment, though now, small felt relative. She had been surviving on instant noodles, street food, and her wit for years. Today, however, her mind wasn't on food. It was on a strange feeling. She had been feeling off for a week, tired, queasy, overly emotional, like she was auditioning for a telenovela. She blinked at the pregnancy test in her hand and waited. 1 line, 2 lines. Her eyes widened. I am pregnant, she whispered, voice shaking. Her cat, who had been watching her dramatically from the corner, blinked. Ogechi shook her head. Even you are judging me. She didn't waste time. She dialed Damilare immediately. Sir, you better be sitting, she said before he could greet. Is this an emergency? Damilare's calm, deep voice came from the phone. Ogechi gasped, almost dropping the phone. Emergency? Sir, I'm pregnant. There was a pause. Then, pregnant? His voice was low, controlled, but there was a catch of excitement. Yes, she squealed. I counted everything. This is real. This is happening. Damilare laughed, a deep, warm, slightly nervous laugh. Ogechi, you're not just pregnant, you've just made my heart explode. The next day at the office, Ogechi arrived looking pale, nervous, and slightly queasy, but with her trademark courage. She whispered to her desk neighbor, If I survive this day, Lagos traffic, Vanessa, and boardroom politics, I survive everything. Damilare approached her calmly. Ogechi, he began, voice soft, can we talk? She nodded nervously, following him to his office. He turned to her, taking both her hands in his. I've realized something, he said seriously. You've changed everything in my life. Not just with courage, intelligence, or humor, but you've changed my heart. Ogechi blinked. Sir, you're making me nervous, and emotional, and queasy. He laughed. That too, but more importantly, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Her eyes widened. Sir, is that? He opened it. A sparkling ring glinted in the office lights. Ogechi Chika, he said, kneeling slightly, I want to spend every chaotic, funny, dramatic day of my life with you. Will you marry me? Ogechi gasped, dropping her hands over her mouth. Are you serious? You, me, the girl who sent a wrong text and accidentally became your PA, fake fiancé, and now real-life chaos? Damilare smiled, gently lifting her hands. Exactly that girl, only that girl. She laughed through tears, wobbling slightly. Sir, this is insane, dramatic, funny, perfect. He grinned. So, yes? Yes, she squealed, hugging him tightly. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. Word spread quickly. Staff cheered. Vanessa, seeing her plan to sabotage fail, huffed in defeat. Ogechi whispered to Damilare, Sir, they are all staring. He winked. Let them. You've earned it. Ogechi leaned her head on his shoulder. Sir, I can't wait to see our baby. Damilare kissed her forehead. And I can't wait to see the mother of my child. In a sunlit Lagos apartment, Ogechi rested on a plush sofa, a small baby bump visible beneath a soft dress. Damilare sat beside her, holding her hand, and softly humming a tune she couldn't identify, but loved. I never thought a wrong text, a wine-fueled Dubai night, and a jealous Vanessa would lead to this, she said, laughing. Damilare kissed her temple. Me neither. But life, my love, life has a funny way of writing its best stories. Ogechi grinned. And lucky for us, the wrong number was the right destiny. He laughed softly. Exactly. The right destiny. And as the sun set over Lagos, the billionaire and the girl from humble beginnings knew one thing for certain. Their love, trust, laughter, and family had just begun. Destiny can begin with a mistake. Sometimes what looks like an error is actually a doorway to purpose. Ogechi's wrong message became the right turning point in her life, teaching us that not all mistakes are failures. Some are redirections. Never underestimate yourself because of your circumstances. Poverty did not define Ogechi's worth or intelligence. Though she had no job and no food, her courage, honesty, and sharp mind proved that greatness can rise from the humblest beginnings. Character matters more than status. Demolaire fell in love not because of beauty alone, but because of Ogechi's integrity, humor, loyalty, and strength. True love and trust are built on character, not wealth or position. Trust is earned through truth and action. Ogechi earned Demelaire's trust by being honest, hardworking, and brave, even when it was uncomfortable. Trust grows when actions consistently match words. Jealousy destroys, but hard work elevates. While jealousy consumed others, Ogechi focused on doing her job well. The story reminds us that jealousy only delays destiny, but diligence accelerates it. Love grows where respect exists. What began as a contract turned into genuine love because respect came first. Respect creates the foundation where real love can grow. Hope should never die, even in hard times. When Ogechi had nothing, no food, no money, and eviction staring her in the face, she still hoped. That hope became the seed of her miracle. Responsibility is the true measure of a man. Demolaire did not run from the pregnancy or the truth. He embraced responsibility with love and honor, showing that real wealth is found in accountability. Life can change in a single moment. Keep your heart honest, your intentions pure, and your hope alive, because sometimes the wrong number leads to the right destiny. If this story makes you laugh and teach you something in life, like and subscribe, because more romance stories are coming your way.